So I'm going to talk about this book, and I have so many issues. I did enjoy it, but there is some issues, like how the male lead set the main character up to be raped. Like, he had the main character set up to be freaking raped. Like, he was even prepared, then set out for battle. He thought it was just going to be a normal fight, except it wasn't. It was a fight, and whoever won and topped got to fuck the other person. It was so messed up. So messed up. And I was like, oh my god, this man, he toxic. He is a toxic person. Full on green, red flag. Like, I already knew about it. I saw spoilers for it, but I was super surprised. I was honestly a little surprised when we got to, I was fully freaking out. I'm like, I hope you don't get raped. I hope you don't get raped. And he didn't. He was able to defeat his attempted rapist, but it was so bad. I was freaking out. Also, this dude was fully betrayed by his own brother. And one of his lovers. His lover was fooling around with his brother, and his brother took his throne from him. He was supposed to be king after his dad died, but no, his brother betrayed him and sent him away as a slave. Everyone thinks he's dead, but in actuality, he was sent away to a foreign country that they're kind of enemies with, but trying to form an alliance. And he murdered the male lead's brother, too. Like, the person he's assigned to, he murdered the dude's brother in battle during war. He killed the dude's brother. And I was like, oh, this is messed up. Like, it is messed up. And he doesn't want anyone to know his real identity because it'd be messed up for him. Like I said, he killed the male lead's brother, who was supposed to have been the crown prince. And he killed that dude. And so, out of anyone, it would definitely be the male lead who went on him dead if he knew. And as a spoil that I already knew, the male lead knows who he is. That's why the male lead hates his guts so much and treats him like shit, is because the male lead knew this was his brother's killer. Also, another red flag that the male lead does to the main character is have him whipped. Whipped badly to the almost point he almost died. That's how harshly he whipped the main character, or had the main character whipped. And I was freaking out. I was like, this is supposed to be our love interest? He's supposed to be it? So I want to shake the main character because sometimes he's a fucking idiot. Okay, he is an idiot. Like, he was getting a good relationships with the servants, the guards. Like, he was doing pretty good with these dudes until he spoke with the regent, the male lead's uncle, the person they all are against. And he spoke with the dude kind of turning against the male lead. And the attitude of the servants and guards are different. Like, they hate his guts. They despise his guts. And he's like, what happened? I'm like, well, you betrayed your owner. The person they're loyal to for a person they dislike and hate. Do you think you would have a good relationship with them afterwards? No, you won't. And the male lead even tells him that. The male lead's like, are you a freaking idiot? Are you stupid? You ruined your relationship with my men because of one stupid decision. You freaking moron. Also, another moment where he's a freaking moron. So the main character is attacked by men wielding weapons from his country. And after they defeat those men, the regent's guards come and they're trying to arrest the main character. And the male lead's trying to back up. I'm saying, no, he's not the attacker. He was the one who was being attacked, even though in actuality it was the male lead. And they're away and they're talking, and he plans to run away because the male lead basically sent everyone in his palace away so he can rest because he's been drugged. And he wants the main character to keep an eye of him. And the main character's like, well, this is an opportunity for me to run away. The male lead was wary that he might try to eat him, but instead the main character was like, I'm going to run away. And the male lead's like, don't do it. You will cause yourself more issues and problems. And he's like, no, I'm going to run away. And he did. And he got caught. And the male lead had to pull strings to save his ass. And I'm like, you are a moron! A moron! So there were other slaves sent with the main character. And from his country also has slaves. But his slaves are treated so much differently than the male lead's country treats their slaves. And the main character's country, the slaves are treated like submissives in a BDSM relationship. You know, there's punishments. The dominant has control over them. But it's always by the submissive's choice. Things always happen by the submissive's ideas and beliefs. They're treated well, they're cared for. If the trust is broken, there's no more relationship between dominant and submissive. Like, the relationship is formed by trust. The slaves are taught from the moment they assign to become a slave how to be a slave and how to live in the palace. And so they were trained, and his country had to survive as a slave in their country. But when they were brought over here, where slaves are treated like shit, like, the main character repeatedly points out how slaves are treated compared to his country, and it's bad. He's disgusted of the way how these people treat their slaves. So it's a fucked up situation for him and for the slaves, and he's like, I need to get them out of here. And so he gets the main character's help, the male lead's help, to get the slaves out of there. In another place, he can't send them back to his original country, but they can send it to another country where the slaves would be treated the same way in his country. And the male lead kind of has to seduce the dude and show the dude how the slaves from the main character's country is being treated, and the dude's like, I'm collecting all these slaves, I'm taking them back, I will treat them well, I'll take care of them. And they're able to get the slaves away. It's just sad. Also, there's a slave boy. He's an underage child. He's a literal child slave. A literal child sex slave. And he kind of reminds me of the male lead. His attitude all the way is basically the male lead's. He sounds like he looks like the male lead too. There's some differences between them here and there. And the male lead's trying to get hold of him. Not like to do anything to him. No, he has like this weird sibling relationship with the kid. He just wants to get the kid away from his uncle. He wants to save the kid. And keeps trying to give the kid chances. And the kid's no, I'll stay with your uncle. Your uncle's love me and care for me. He won't abandon me like he does the others. I'm like, no, he will. He will. And the moment you get out of age, he will abandon you and do worse to you, baby. Get away from him. Like, I have read fanfics. Well, when I started this book, I read a few fanfics. I started this book Friday and ended up reading fanfics instead of reading this book. And, like, a lot of the fanfics have the male lead as his adopted father after he got abused. The male lead took care of him and took him in, or as his older brother. Like some guardian that takes him in to raise him after he went through abuse and trying to help him through his abuse. Like,